wanted to talk about my story a bit. Growing up, I was always a little bit, I guess I would say, off. Maybe leaning more towards the spiritual side. I don't know. I always believed in spirits and ghosts and in nature and in, I felt things. I felt energies around me. I didn't really know what they were, and I was kind of a bit of a weird kid. I would say things that didn't necessarily fit in with the sentence the other kids were saying, or say whatever was on my mind almost. I was thinking, and then some weird tangent thought would come across, and I'd go ahead and say it, so everyone's like, okay, whatever, man. That's kind of how they treated me. So I was a bit odd. I was president of the Fiction Writers Club. I was captain of the football team. I worked for the librarian. So I was in a bunch of groups because I was naturally good at everything I did. But nobody in those groups specifically liked me that much because I wasn't 100% that or 100% this. Never really identified with much. So my great-grandfather was a pastor. He was the oldest living Lutheran pastor in the country at one time, God rest his soul. And I sort of took after that. I remember having a picture taken of me when I was a little kid by my grandma, standing at the pulpit with my granddad's glasses on, and she's like, you know what? That man's going to be a preacher. So I always thought maybe that's kind of what I'm supposed to do. So I thought about it for a number of years, and when I turned 16, I started driving to church on my own because my folks didn't go. They went sometimes, but not every Sunday, so I started going every Sunday. And that kind of started things a little bit for me as a young man, getting into church, getting involved. Something still didn't feel exactly right with the whole system. I'm not sure what it was, if it was the fact that you only go there on Sunday, you learn something real quick, and then you go home. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was the people there. I noticed that the people weren't really any different. They didn't act any more holy. They didn't act any more godly. Some people. But for the most part, it was just another social situation. So, in 2001, I was in a really bad car accident. And it was definitely a turning point. We hit a tree. We were probably going 45 or 50 miles an hour, so we hit it straight on. And I remember getting out of the truck and seeing my sister there and put my jacket under her head, and I remember crawling away to a ditch, and I fell down into the ditch, and I just laid there. And this old man and his wife, I guess, pulled up, and I remember him over me, his gray beard, looking in my eyes, telling me, hey buddy, don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep. And then I was put into the ambulance, and my mom showed up, and I asked her, is this it? Is this how I'm going to die? And I remember feeling the whole thing was so weird. It was like, well, what's the point? Why did I grow up to now? Why? This is weird. And I got into a helicopter, and I remember slipping. And people always ask me, what was heaven like? And the closest I can describe it is that everything went completely white, and my life held no significance. There was no suffering, there was no pain, and I wasn't just this. I wasn't just me. Instead I was this, and this, and this, almost as if you took the molecules in the air and were each one of those things all at once. But none of the bad stuff existed because there is no good, there is no evil. That's the whole trick. It's so weird. I don't know how to explain it to you. But there is nothing bad. Everything is just is. Everything's just it. And as God says in the Bible, when you ask who are you, he says, I am that I am. And I wonder, where is God? Well, I am. I became him when I died. Or at least I joined back to him, and I felt complete. And I felt perfect. And I remember laying on the bed with a gurney, the straight board, that they tie you to. And I was about to go. I was about to leave. It was done. It was a done deal. And all of a sudden, my angel, or that's what I call her now, or him, it was this beautiful person standing there, knocked the IV bag off the roof of the helicopter. It landed on my face, and it shocked me so much that I woke up. And I didn't close my eyes again that day. And everything was all right. My sister and my father and I, we were okay. But from that moment on, I just felt like all of this wasn't real. And I disassociated really hard for a while. I had a lot of memory issues from the brain injury. And I just remember feeling, what's the point? This isn't real. So prior to the car accident, I had this really strict set of morals that I would always do. Like, I wouldn't look at a woman if I thought I might think she was hot, because I didn't want to think anything bad about her. It's just, everything sort of changed, It felt like, well, what's the point? It's not real. And so I kind of went bad. So the first half of my life, I was good. I would say really good. And then I went really bad. I went off to college, and I just wasn't someone who I wanted to be. And went through the military, went through a divorce. And one day I just sort of woke up, and that feeling where I was everything from that car accident, it just came back. And I'll tell you how I got there. I wasn't feeling my Christianity like I used to. I wasn't wanting to go to church. I wasn't wanting to do the things that I used to do. So I started looking up, how can I heal me? How can I make me better? I'm dealing with PTSD from the military. I am dealing with all these sadness issues because I was in the honor guard. I carried caskets and shot rifles. And I looked into meditation, and I came across Wim Hof. And when Wim Hof got me into meditation, I started going out into the fields. It was winter. It was perfect. I started taking off, my shirt and getting in my small shorts and sitting there in the cold or in the snow and just trying to meditate. And after Wim Hof, one of the links led me to John St. Julian, who has this amazing program where he takes children who are, being oppressed, forced into working conditions that are just not appropriate for children, taken by witch doctors and being tortured and sacrificed, kids whose parents can't support them because Tanzania is so poor, kids who have disabilities and the parents can't take care of them. He takes all these kids, and he takes these dogs, and he takes all these people to him, to his little farm, and he just takes care of them and feeds them and supports them and loves them. And he's absolutely amazing. And I was like, holy cow. I was like, whatever John has, that's who I was as a kid. That's who I was as a kid. And so from then on, I started doing more research, looking into the Dalai Lama. I started with these big things. Then I got to Sadhguru. Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev is an Indian mystic, and he kind of helped me with some inner engineering. And then I started just diving into everything I could. The Joe Rogan podcast. Russell Brand has come up in his enlightenment. He's working, and I work all day on the road, and I'm just sucking up all of this information from all of these different guys. And I'm like, man, a lot of this is stuff I already know. It's stuff I already feel. It's like, holy cow, man. The only thing that matters is how we love each other. Because at the end of the day, all of us on this planet, cumulatively, we are God. So wherever our consciousness is as accumulation is where God is. And that's why the earth is going to be evil or the earth is going to be good based on us. It's not based on a man sitting up there doing this with his hands and making things happen. God is in you. God is in me. God is in everything, because everything is one thing. It's something we're seeing and interpreting as what it is to our eyes, but it's not true. The only thing that's true is that you love me and I love you, because we are one. And so I meditate every day, I think, and I try my hardest to take a step back from stress and to just know that it's not real, but it is real. So I have to take that, and I have to understand, my kids' lives are real. My family's lives are real. My friends' lives are real. So I have a very, 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 big obligation to take care of them and treat them as I would love to be treated, and I try my best to do that. And that's where I'm at now. And if you're with me, then join me and let's be friends and let's make this happen, because together we can raise this planet. I know we can do it. God bless you.